Welcome to the Grizzled Geek Reacts. We're here for Ready Player One review. Alright, we went to see Ready Player One tonight. Doug, what'd you think?
Steven Spielberg at his best.
Ah, ha, ha. That's right. Ready Player One. I've been a fan of this book since it came out.
And I have not read the book, so I went in the movie totally fresh.
So you got two perspectives here. Someone who's read the book, someone who went in without having read the book.
Yeah.
And so you get both our perspectives on this movie here. So we'll start off non-spoilers. We'll let you know when we're getting to spoilers.
Okay.
So first part of this is non-spoilers. I was very impressed with this movie.
Yeah. It was a great story, well told. I mean, classic Steven Spielberg here.
Oh, yeah.
You could totally feel his finger on the pulse of this movie. And for a movie that's half CGI, it was impressive how well the story held together.
It did.
So
those first trailers, I thought this was going to be a crazy CGI fest, that I wasn't going to, just going a million miles an hour. I wasn't going to catch anything or get a headache from the movie. But no, the story was really good, and they didn't chintz on the story. They went straight for the feels, the love story. It was everything.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought, what do you think of the actors? Go with that.
Yeah, they all did a great job. I'm trying, and I don't know a lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't. Some of them were familiar. The only one I know is funny is was it Helen? I think is her name in the real name in the real
H.
world. H.
Yeah.
Oops, small spoiler. But anyways, she was on Master of None. Aziz Ansari's show.
Oh, okay.
She was like his best friend on the show. But she's the only actor I really knew very well.
Krennic.
Yeah, Krennic. And I only know him from that.
Yeah,
Krennic.
sure, yeah.
And then Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg, of course.
Which, those are the only ones I really know. But everybody else, they all did well. All the young actors did. I liked them a lot. I believed them in the roles.
Right.
They connected with me really well.
Because I'm a fan of the book, I was really interested when they first started announcing the casting for this movie, and I was actually disappointed. I was like, who's this? The guy from Wade Watts, and then the girl that got to play Artemis. I was like, this doesn't really match the look in the book, right? And I was like, sure, but they did an amazing job. I believe both those characters. The guy who played Wade Watts, really, he carried the movie like he should.
Yeah, he did a great job.
So Barzal was awesome. I mean, I don't know. I think, and the nostalgia was there. I will say this, from the books, the book is squarely rooted in the 80s, because that's Ernest Cline, the author of the book. It's his era, that's the era we grew up in, right?
Right, yeah.
So the book was really geared towards Gen X, right? Gen X that grew up in the 80s. But Spielberg, I think smartly so, brought in a bunch of 90s, for the millennials. There's a lot. If you're a millennial, there's a lot of nostalgia for you as well. Not just Gen Xers from the 80s.
Yeah.
A lot of 90s, a lot of early aughts, early 2000s.
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, it was tough.
There was a ton of pop cultures.
Yes.
And that's the way it would be. Like, if something was going to be a pop culture,
it would evolve.
It would evolve.
It would not stay in one era.
Yeah.
Everybody who comes into it would bring their sensibilities to it.
So if you're looking at this, you're thinking, this is for something for your dad's book or whatever, your dad's movie. This has got nostalgia for you, and the soundtrack was amazing.
Yeah.
I really want this soundtrack. I mean, start off with Jump.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like this. I'm gonna like the soundtrack. So, but yeah, I mean, it's the big shame of the matter is the fact that this is tracking so low.
Yeah, because
their
marketing campaign was horrible for this movie. The only hope is that there's great word of mouth, that everybody goes and sees it and goes, wow, this movie was really great.
Yeah.
This was a lot better than I expected it to be, because those trailers didn't tell you anything. You're like, wow, okay, there's a race, and there's, look, the race again.
Yeah.
And there's some big battle. Oh, and there's that big battle again.
It was just
interspersed with a couple of new.
It was just nostalgia after nostalgia. It was like, look, here's something from your childhood. Here's something else from your childhood. Blah blah. And it was one after another. And the movie's so much more than that. I mean, that's a big part of it, obviously. but it's a lot more than that, and I'm really glad. If you hadn't read the books, look at those first few trailers, you had no idea what this movie's about.
Right.
Which is a shame, because I feel like this is going to get the whole John Carter Mars treatment, where you had a really good movie, but it was poorly marketed and
right, yeah,
you know,
and just bombs.
Just bombs.
Hopefully, Spielberg's name draws in a bunch of people.
Yeah,
and hopefully, positive word of mouth will get some people in there. But
yeah, this movie is definitely worth seeing, and it's definitely worth seeing in 3D or IMAX.
Yeah,
I mean, just to see all the nostalgia goodness thrown at you.
Well, yeah, so much nostalgia goodness that there is a lot of rewatchability in this movie.
Yeah.
One, it's a really good story, and two, you're not going to catch everything.
No.
There's just so much going on screen that you're like, like we were told that Crescent Rose from Ruby was supposed to make an appearance, but none of us saw it.
Never saw. We were looking. I'm like, is that a side? Is that a side?
4 of us in our group watching the movie have watched Ruby, and we're aware that it was supposed to be there. Didn't see it. So,
but I'm sure it'll be up online soon after this weekend.
Yeah,
you can find exactly where the movie it is.
Yeah,
if it made the cut.
No, there's that too. Yeah, maybe it did, maybe it didn't.
You know, we know the rights were signed for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, when you cut a movie together, you never know what's gonna.
Right, what'll hit the floor.
I'm sure it's one of those big battle scenes where there's like, you know, 1,000
yeah, there's
people.
a bunch of people, and you're like, oh wait, turtles.
Right.
Oh, Halo. Oh.
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this: there's some of the criticism we got from our group, anyway, that we went with. Part of it was that they kind of toned down on the whole dystopian future thing, right, in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where it wasn't quite as bleak as it was in the books, right? Where it's Wade and his aunt in a trailer, where there's like multiple families in a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't say how like everybody drove to the cities and they ran out of gas.
Yeah, they didn't explain how we got to this point.
Why there's stacks, why there's like trailers stacked on top of each other, because they all drove to the cities.
This movie was entirely about the Oasis and the contest. It eliminated, it gave you a brief picture of the world, but otherwise did not really. And you get from the protagonist, the main character, that his life sucks, and that's why he goes to that. And a lot of people say that throughout the movie.
Right.
And you just have to go with that. You're not going to get the entire backstory. You can't, from a book, you can't do that.
Right.
Without, exposition dumps, which thankfully we didn't have a lot of those.
Right. It starts off with exposition and basically setting up the world. Very brief overview of it. You get the idea. Right. But I think my argument to that would be that I think the reason why it was such a dystopian future in the book is because it would explain why everybody in the world would want to escape to a virtual reality.
Right.
Where nowadays, I don't think there's that big of a push. You don't need to explain that, to people nowadays. They can understand. I can understand why we want to escape to a virtual reality.
Yeah.
A lot of people do escape for virtual reality,
Right. Yeah.
So it wouldn't be that, it's not that big a stretch at this point, as it was, say, 10 years ago or
maybe
15 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But I understand it. But they did, if you're a big fan of the book, the main basic story's there, the characters are there, but they did change quite a bit of it. It's not the book. All the clues are different, but they give homages to the original clues, right?
Okay.
Like in the book, kind of minor spoiler for the book, one of the keys is in the Tomb of Horrors from Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's not in the movie, but the face of the Devourer they have is on prominently on one of the vehicles. You know, so if you're a fan of the Tomb of Horrors of D&D, you know who the Devourer face is. It's on one of the vehicles. It's prominently there.
Okay.
You see it several times. So there's like little homages to that.
Right.
It's several. So if you've read the books, you'll get the homages. You'll see, okay, that was from that key or whatever. But
all right.
That's I really like. Obviously, we're gonna recommend this movie.
Yeah.
What would you rate it before we get into spoilers? Or before that, was there anything you had, any issues you had with it?
No.
No, it was pretty good.
No, there's not. I mean, everyone. Well, anything I had would be nitpicky, and I didn't have a real issue. Just kind of in the moment, like, why didn't they do this? And then you say, well, whatever. Yeah. It's not that big a deal. It didn't change the story. Yeah.
My only things would be it's not criticism so much as I want to see more of certain things, right?
Okay.
Like there's a ton of stuff that's flown by. Like, oh, there's Ninja Turtles. Oh, there's you know, there's Batman. There's a Joker. There's Harley Quinn. You know, and it's like they fly by so fast, you only get a glimpse of them.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and there were certain things that I missed from the book. Right, like they all had giant mechs in the book.
Oh.
Right,
Okay.
but Parzival's mech was the Spider-Man's mech, the Japanese Spider-Man.
Okay.
He had a mech.
Okay.
No one's gonna know that. You know,
Yeah.
obviously they're not gonna have that in a. I mean, that's why they had like the Iron Giant kind of replace those mechs there. They brought in a Gundam instead of Voltron. But I mean,
they didn't have Voltron. There was Voltron in it. Why wouldn't you do Voltron? Everybody knows Voltron.
Probably the rights issue. Probably.
Well, probably.
You know,
true. Yeah.
They already paid so much for what they had in the movie.
Yeah.
You know, and Voltron's actually popular now with the new cartoon, so
yeah.
it might be a little more pricey.
A little pricey, yeah. Maybe, yeah.
All right, so we like the movie. Doug, what are you going to rate this thing?
I'm going to give it a 4.5.
4.5 out of 5?
Out of 5, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's really good.
I too am giving it a 4.5 out of 5. That's what I had in my mind. 4.5. Solid 4.5 out of 5. Mm-hmm. Really good movie. Not a whole lot of problems with it, just kind of, you know, nitpicky things here and there. Yeah. All right, so warning, we're going to get into spoilers now. So if you haven't seen this movie, stop right now. Go watch the movie and come back and watch the rest of this video after that.
Yeah.
So this is it. Spoiler warning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, could you believe? No.
I can't believe they killed off. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
I mean, there's not really a whole big revelation from this. I will say that there were certain things in the book that they changed up, right? Like in the movie, Artemis gets captured and put in one of those loyalty centers.
Yeah.
It's actually Wade that gets captured in the book, right? So that's a little bit different. Like I said, all the tests are different, which makes more sense because they brought in a broader sense of, you know, people would be, you know more about what the tests they did, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. Because instead of the adventure, they had Joust in an arcade for one of them. You know, there's not a whole lot of people going to remember that, right? Yeah. That's very specific. So they brought things up. I don't know. What was your favorite of the tests?
Well, the first one was the only real. Well, okay. The first one was my favorite test. Because the second one was just really weird. The whole
Shining
jumping from not even that was funny. The whole Shining thing was awesome, but the actual test of jumping from zombie to zombie to get to the girl to ask her to dance to get the clue, that was just weird. Yeah. That was the weakest.
So
and the third, and the third one was not really I mean, it was the video game test, I guess, but the whole castle, you just kind of skip to the end. Oh, they found it. You're like, oh, all right.
In the book, the video game test was the middle one, and it was another secret hidden thing in a video game that you had to be a video game nerd to know.
Okay.
You know, to know that it was in an arcade or whatever, instead of like in a castle or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So it was, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like the whole. They did the whole showdown at the end. Mm-hmm. They did the world, the shield. In the book, it was over the entire world. In the book, it was a little bit more. One of the other criticisms from the people we went with was that the Oasis didn't feel as big, and that was only because in the books they do a lot of traveling. It's like so immense. They have spaceships, so each one of the characters have their own spaceship that they travel around in, and they have to take warp jumps to get to different sectors or whatever, you know.
Okay.
And here they just kind of like showed up on different planets and whatnot. So they actually had to travel.
They just log into whatever planet they want to be on or whatever.
Exactly. So, and in the book, instead of having a shield around a castle that's being bombarded, the world has a shield around it. Okay. And there's like a fleet armada that's trying to get through it. Okay. And then there's a battle on the ground and everything after the shield goes down. Okay. But it was pretty epic. It was a pretty epic battle. I think it was. I like this better because in the book, obviously, you have to be a nerd to know what all those spaceships are.
Right. Yeah.
Right. As where it's far easier to have a bunch of characters and video game characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, pop culture references. Everybody's like, oh, that one game with the guys in armor, Master Sergeant, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, the yellow guys.
Yeah. Like, you can tell, you can see those guys and identify them pretty easy, even if you don't know who they are.
Right. Plus, it's more personal with like the one-on-one, like at ground level. right? It's a little more visceral than a big space battle or whatever. So, I mean, yeah, you get more pop culture references. So I think it was a good choice. So all the changes, I will say this, in my opinion, all the changes they made to the book are good ones. In fact, I've heard this, I'm not sure I would go this far, but I've heard that a lot of people are saying this was better than the book. One of the few times that the movie was actually better than the book, because you take a good story like this and you take a master storyteller like Steven Spielberg, who knows how to tell that story to a wider audience, i.e., bringing in like the the millennial references, stuff like that, not just the Gen X stuff, and that's what you get. You get this movie, which is pretty amazing.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, I have a lot. Like I said, I haven't read the book, so I don't have a lot to add on to that point. Yeah, I did like the way the story unfolded. I like that approximately half the movie is in the Oasis, so you're in a virtual world. It's all computer generated. It's all their avatars, which they didn't go to any real lengths to make it look realistic. Yeah. They didn't try and like, oh, this actually is existing in the real world. No, it's fake. They know it's fake, and they don't even try and disguise it as fake. Yeah. It's like these are computer generated images. They try and make them look accurate to whatever their video game analog is or whatever. Right. But otherwise,
this is what would happen if you had. I mean, if you know anything about it, you ever heard of Second Life?
Yeah, well, yes, I've heard.
Okay, you've heard of Second Life. In that video, it's like an online thing where you can be whatever you want, what kind of avatar you want.
Right.
Yeah, this is that to the next level. So if you're in this world, you can be whatever you want, which is great. I don't know. What was your favorite like pop culture reference they had? Really did it for you.
Well, I don't know that there was a single pop culture reference that I was like, oh wow, that's pretty sweet. That's awesome.
I don't know, the Buckaroo Banzai outfit.
The Buckaroo Banzai that was true. We have not watched that for Does It Hold Up yet, but
it's on our list for Does It Hold Up, Buckaroo Banzai. But when he busted out the Buckaroo Banzai outfit, I'm like, okay, that is pretty cool. And it is kind of a deep cut because it's not a major pop culture reference, right? So, I mean, I think my favorite I think has got to be the Holy Hand Grenade.
Oh, yeah, it's true. The Holy Hand Grenade was pretty good.
But the only thing that would have made the Holy Hand Grenade better is if you counted to 5 before you
had to count it to...
You get
1, 2, 5.
5 and throw it. Yeah, if you did that, it would have been perfect. But it was still awesome to have Monty Python, the Holy Grail's Holy Hand Grenade in there as a relic.
Yes, that was awesome. I did like the turtles showing up. That was cool. Yeah. And you're like, oh, wow. And then showing the kids in the real world who were them.
Yeah.
Watching them like kick around and stuff like that. It was pretty awesome.
It was pretty cool. I think T.J. Miller as IROC was that casting was amazing. I would never have thought to cast T.J. Miller as IROC.
Oh, yeah. He was one of my favorite
But he was amazing.
I wanted more information about him. Like, well, how did he come to be on the bad guys?
He's like a total like that high level goober, in these MMOs. Yeah, you know the character just from the few scenes you have with him. You totally know who that guy is. Yeah. He's collected all the treasure from all the MMOs, and he's level.
Yeah. So, wait, I thought you were kidding. I've got millions and millions of stuff invested here. It's my whole life.
Yeah, it was like I said, it's really good. I mean, there's nothing really to spoil to get to the. Usually we have like, we're going to discuss this controversial thing, but
yeah, I mean, we accidentally spoiled one of the reveals, but we'll tell you now that you find out that his friend is H is actually short for Helen.
Yeah.
So though it's a boy in the he's a mechanical giant guy in the Oasis, she's actually a girl.
Right.
And the ninja guy who's in his team is an 11-year-old kid, which is cool. So, yeah, I mean...
That's how it would be.
And they teased that Artemis, that's, this little, like the hot chick who's got, super good at everything, teased that, you're going to be disappointed. Nope, she's a cute chick.
She's a cute chick, yeah. In the book, she's a little overweight. She's not quite as attractive. She's good looking.
What's with the birthmark thing? What was the significance of that?
She had a birthmark she was ashamed of. I mean, although in the book you get an idea that it's a little more significant.
Okay.
Than what it was in the movie, but I mean that's why when she was cast, I'm like she's far too attractive to be Artemis.
Yeah.
But I mean, she was so good. I like she sold the whole loner, aspect of the character.
Was that her real reason for being against IOI because because of her father?
Yeah.
Okay, so they kept that part of the story. That's good.
Well, the characters are pretty much the five.
Yeah,
they're pretty much the same. The only thing is in the book there's a lot more interaction between the four of them. The four men. Before they're all friends, so they have a clubhouse they all meet up at, a virtual clubhouse they meet up at.
Yeah, because the other two just kind of...
They just kind of showed up.
They were like a chain, this is this guy's friend, and this is this guy's friend, and this is this guy's friend. They're all friends.
There's a little thing, because if you look at it, why would these guys tell... If they found the first key, why would they tell these other people, right?
Yeah.
Well, in the book, they're all friends. So they're all trying to... Even though they're not a clan, officially, they're all friends.
Yeah.
So they all share information.
Okay.
But, yeah, no, it's... I don't have much more to say about this. It's a great movie. You need to go see it if it's going to have something in it for you, nostalgia-wise.
And it's just a well-told story.
Yeah, and Spielberg is a storyteller, right?
Yeah.
Even the worst of his movies, there's got heart, there's a story to it. Ones that aren't corrupted by George Lucas. I.e. Indiana Jones 5, the one we don't talk about. But, yeah, no, it's a really good movie. You should go see it. You should read the book, too. The book is amazing. Go see the movie, come back, read the book.
Yeah, it's probably the best way to do it in this case, is watch the movie first, and then go to the book for the details.
Yeah, and then it'll fill in all of the questions you have about the background.
Right.
That's going on.
If you have them. Some people will just, I was perfect. I was like, Mike's told me a little bit about the book, and I was like, cool, this is fine. I'm like, my only question is, what was the guy's name? IROC?
IROC, yeah.
Yeah, I want to know more about him. But other than that, I was fine with what I got.
Yeah. There was more, I think it was if I remember right, the book was more mercenaries, but he's like the head of the mercenaries.
Oh, okay.
So they're gunters that work for the corporation.
Got it.
But, yeah. Anyway, great movie. There you have it. 4.5 out of 5 stars from us here. So let us know what you thought of the movie if you went and saw it. Let us know whether you like it better than the book, do you like the book better, what do you like, some of the changes you like, what you didn't like.
Yep.
Let us know. We'll have a discussion down below. Be sure to like this video, tell your friends about us, help us get to our goal of
5,000 subscribers.
5,000 subscribers. And if you want to financially support the channel, how can they do that, Doug?
Well, we've got 3 links down below. One is to our Patreon affiliate link. If you shop through that link, we get a commission on it. It doesn't cost you anything extra.
Amazon affiliate link.
Amazon affiliate link, yes. We've got a Teespring store where you can buy some merch, and then you can become a patron on Patreon through the link down below.
You can tell which one Doug wants. He's really pushing the Patreon. The Patreon link.
And you can do Patreon.
All right, guys. Really appreciate all the support. Thanks for watching us ramble on about nerd stuff. We really appreciate it. And we'll be back next time.
Thanks.
See ya.